Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing the Library 411 tag. It was created by Joshana C, I think is how you pronounce her name. I will link to that in the description below. It was created for the April Library Love-a-thon, and I think that's pretty cool. And even though I wasn't tagged by anybody to do this specific tag, it's a new tag. I'm always a slut for tags, and let's show some library love, right? Yeah. So, the first question, or question number 1, is a book that was helpful to you for any reason. And I feel like this should come as no surprise to anybody, but the book I chose was The Song of Achilles, 'cause it, helped me get back into reading, so that's how it was helpful to me. Number 2 is the return bin, or what are 2 books you read and immediately wanted to return because you disliked them, or a recent DNF. And I chose 2 books by the same author, and that's Looking for Alaska in Abundance and An Abundance of Catherines by Joan Green. I specifically really didn't like Looking for Alaska. An Abundance of Catherines was okay, but I didn't really like either of these books. When I first read them, I tried to convince myself that I liked them, but looking back, I never really liked these books, and so yeah, these would definitely go into the return bin. Next is number 3, and that is the hold section. Your most anticipated release, which you can't wait to get your hands on. And that is Circe, my dudes. Madeline Miller wrote another book, and it's about Circe, and it's going to be amazing because Madeline Miller wrote it, and it's not gonna be like The Song of Achilles, I don't think, because it's not gonna be a romance, but it's gonna be amazing. I can already tell you that much. If it lets me down, I'm gonna be so disappointed, because I'm looking forward to this book so much. And it comes out in a week or so. I think it comes out on April 14th. Let me check that, actually. April 10th! Guys, it comes out in 4 days! 4 days! I only have to wait 4 more days, and then I can get my hands on this beautiful book. Question number 4 is Community Classes and Study Rooms, a book that you loved that was a school assignment. And listen, I didn't like hardly anything that was assigned to me in school because we didn't get assigned cool things like To Kill a Mockingbird or Catcher in the Rye or The Great Gatsby. No, we didn't get assigned any of that shit. We just got assigned The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and this weird story about stoning. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember I had to read that in an English class. So I went with my favorite Shakespeare play, which we did have to read in my sophomore year of high school, and that's Hamlet. I really like Hamlet because Hamlet is an indecisive emo boy who doesn't know what to do for most of the play, and I relate to that. And when we read it in class, I think I was probably the only person that wasn't banging their head against the desk because I was hey, this was before I was a theater major too, so I was just hey, I like this. This isn't that bad. So, has to be Hamlet because I hated basically everything else that I read in school. Fun times. So question number 5 is Computers, a modern classic you love or favorite sci-fi. And this was really hard because I don't read modern classics or sci-fi that much. I'm trying to fix that. I haven't even read a lot of them. I've read a few Star Wars books, but I didn't pick any of those because I was watching movie fights today and they were is Star Wars really science fiction or is it fantasy? And I was shit, my dude, you're right. It isn't really science fiction because it doesn't really have anything to do with science. It's just set in space. So I didn't pick one of the Star Wars books. Instead, I picked a modern classic that I was assigned in a history class, and that is All Quiet on the Western Front, which is about a German soldier from World War I, if you were not sure. I like World War I, and I like learning about it, so I liked All Quiet on the Western Front when we had to read it. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't love it, as the question would suggest, but it's an alright book. It's not that bad. It was one of my favorite assigned readings. Didn't surpass Hamlet, but it was one of the 2 readings that I probably liked in school. So there's that. So question number 6 is DVD rentals, or your most anticipated or favorite in recent history book to movie or book to TV adaptation, or a book that felt cinematic, or a book that you wish would be adapted into a movie or a TV series. And I went with Love, Simon, because I really enjoyed Love, Simon when I saw it. And more importantly, Love, Simon is just so important. It's so important for queer teens out there to have something like Love, Simon, because I mean, I didn't have anything like Love, Simon when I was that age, which was pretty recently. I'm only 22. I act like I'm 60 or something, but I still didn't have any rom-coms when I was in high school that were queer, and I don't know, maybe I could have accepted the fact that I was queer earlier if we had a queer rom-com. Question number 7 is library, bookstore / sale. A random book you picked up without knowing anything about and really enjoyed. Or show off your favorite bookish merch. So, I'm going to tell you about the book that I kind of didn't know anything about. I knew it was Own Voices, but that was it. And that's The Dangerous Art of Blending In by Angelo Sermelius. Let's see how many times I can butcher his name, because I still don't know how to pronounce it. So anyway, yeah, I went to the bookstore to pick up Let's Talk About Love. The bookstore did not have Let's Talk About Love, and I was like, hey, this book looks cool, and I know it's Own Voices, so let's pick it up. That's all I knew about it, so I picked it up. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't know if that really counts because I knew it was Own Voices because I saw it in a Own Voices recommendation video, but I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know anything about what it was about. I just knew it was Own Voices, and that it had a pretty cover. I was like, hey, that cover is really nice. Since I can't get Let's Talk About Love, let's get this pretty cover instead. So that is that part of the question. And finally, this is my favorite piece of bookish merch. It is my Achilles and Patroclus print. It's so amazing, and I love it so much. I'll link to where you can buy it in the description if you want to get it and support the artist, because the artist is phenomenal, and just the fact that they made this is incredible. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite piece of bookish merch, which covers up my face almost entirely. But anyway, number 8 is teen/youth room. Favorite YA or favorite book you read as a kid, or a book you can't wait to share with your future kids/nieces/nephews. And I went with The Lightning Thief because I technically read this when I was in 7th grade. It was assigned to me in 7th grade, so I guess I actually could have picked this as my favorite school assignment, but I wasn't really thinking about it like that. So I never finished the series when I was younger. I waited until 2016 when I saw the series was 20% off at Target, and I was like, I'm gonna finally read those books. And then I read all of Rick Riordan's books, and now he's my favorite author, probably. So anyway, I picked this because technically I did read it as a kid, and I also picked it because this is definitely a book that I would share with nieces or nephews if I had any. But I'm an only child, so I will not have any nieces or nephews, and I'm not going to have kids either. So I don't know who I'm going to show this book to, but I'll show it to some small child and be like, hey, look, small child, this book is middle grade, so you're going to understand it, and it has mythology in it, which I personally love. So I think you're going to love it too. Number 9 is museum tickets, or a book that made you feel a bit more cultured upon completing it. And I chose the Iliad. I felt cultured, I guess you could say, because I was like, hell yeah, now I can tell people I've read the motherfucking Iliad. And they'll be like, oh, did you have to read that in school? And I'll be like, no, I read it for fun. And then they'll just be like, wow, what a nerd. And we'll go on our ways. Number 10 is the Overdrive / Hoopla, an audiobook you love. And one, I didn't know what Overdrive or Hoopla was. That shows how often I go to the library. And number 2, I don't listen to audiobooks. Like, I have not listened to a single audiobook. So I can't answer this question, because I've never listened to an audiobook. So, anyway, number 11 is Request a Purchase, a lesser-known book that you want more people to know about and read. And you guys know me. I really only read popular books, so the least popular book that I could think of that I want everybody to read is The Foxhole Court, or the entire All for the Game series, but this is the first one, so you have to read this before you read the other ones. I did a review on All for the Game. I'll link it up there. So, anyway, I think more people should read it because it's really good, and it's not talked about a lot on BookTube that I've seen, so that's why I chose it as my less popular book out of all of the popular books that I read, because I don't read any non-popular books. Question number 12 is librarians, or a character who loved helping others. And I went with Chiron! He's pretty great. He trains demigods in both of these books. Well, he trains a demigod in this book and trains multiple demigods in this book. But yeah, he really likes to help people, and he's just a great dude, and I think he's like one of the best mentors ever, and I want to be trained by Chiron. I would love that. Finally, number 13 is Sanctuary, a book that is your safety net / is like home to you / help you through a rough time. This answer should not be surprising. It's the Song of Achilles again. Isn't it like poetic or something that I begin and end this video with the Song of Achilles? Like, I don't know. I think that says something about me. Probably that I love the Song of Achilles a little too much. But this definitely did help me through a rough time. I was going through a lot, and mainly with my depression, and it was just, I picked up this book and suddenly everything was a little bit better. This book is very near to me, near and dear to me, and I love it. And yeah, if you didn't know that by now, I don't know where you've been, but yeah, the Song of Achilles definitely helped me through a rough time, and I will never be able to thank Madeline Miller enough for it. So anyway, that's all I have to say for this tag, because I don't know who to tag. I guess I could tag the usual suspects. I'll put them in the description. You guys know who you are probably, so yeah, if you want to do this tag. Support libraries. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.